When journalist Lena Morris, 32, stepped off the rust-colored bus that coughed to a halt at the edge of Dawson Ridge, Kentucky, she told herself she was chasing a myth, not a monster. Her podcast, American Cannibal, was supposed to expose the truth behind frontier legends of starvation and madness, not become one. Yet the town looked exactly like the stories. Empty porches, wind-bent mailboxes, and a diner whose neon flickered. American Cannibal, as if the town itself were whispering her title back at her. She'd come to investigate a string of disappearances linked to an abandoned coal mine where, according to rumor, an old rescue team had vanished decades ago after resorting to something unspeakable to survive a cave-in. The sheriff dismissed it as folklore, but Lena's instincts, honed by years of chasing hoaxes and listening to trembling witnesses, felt a tremor of truth beneath the silence. She rented a tiny motel room, unpacked her recorder, and began interviewing anyone who would talk. Most didn't. An old waitress, eyes pale as dishwater, muttered that hunger changes the bones first, and slammed the door of her memory shut. That night Lena replayed the recording and realized something impossible. Out of the waitress's voice, faint and rhythmic, came the sound of breathing, slow, deliberate, as if someone else were inside the diner. Her producer back in New York joked that she was picking up ambient noise, but when the breathing quickened each time Lena whispered, "Hello," the laughter on the other end turned to silence. The next morning she drove toward the ridge, through fog that hung like gauze. She parked where asphalt turned to gravel, set her phone to record, and followed the trail toward the mine. Every sign of civilization, birds, crickets, even her own cell signal, dropped away until only her boots crunched on frost. At the mine entrance a rusted gate dangled, and a wooden sign read, "No entry. Mine sealed 1984. She ducked under anyway. Inside, the air grew thick and metallic. Her flashlight carved tunnels of dust that seemed to breathe with her. Halfway in, she found graffiti scrawled in cold dust. "We are still hungry." The letters were fresh. She told herself someone was playing a joke, maybe locals keeping the legend alive, but her recorder picked up a faint tapping, a Morse-like rhythm repeating 3 short, 3 long, 3 short. SOS. She followed the sound until it stopped at a cave wall that looked solid until she pressed it and felt it give, thin as plaster. Behind it a hidden shaft descended into blackness. She climbed down, counting rungs slick with condensation, and entered a chamber lined with bones arranged like wind chimes. They weren't gnawed, they were carved, tiny spirals etched into each fragment, as if someone had studied hunger like an art. Lena's flashlight flickered, died, and in the dark she heard a man's voice whisper, "You found us." She bolted toward the ladder, but cold fingers brushed her ankle. Real, human, desperate. When she emerged outside, dawn was bleeding over the hills, and her recorder light blinked red. It had captured everything. Back at the motel, she replayed the audio. Her own breath, the whisper, and then something new. Her own voice answering though she had said nothing, murmuring, "We found you." Terrified, she tried to upload the file, but each time the waveform glitched, reshaping itself into the pattern of chewing sounds. That night someone knocked on her door. Through the peephole, she saw no one, just a takeout container on the mat labeled local delicacy. Inside was a piece of meat, perfectly seared, smelling like roast pork. She threw it away, but hours later the scent returned, seeping from the bathroom drain. She fled the room, checked out, and drove until her gas light blinked. At a rest stop, she finally reached her producer, voice trembling, begging to end the project. He agreed, but the next morning, the podcast's first episode appeared online anyway, auto-scheduled by someone using her account. The upload included the audio she had deleted, ending with a voice, her own, saying calmly, "I understand the hunger now." Within days, download spiked. Listeners claimed that if you played the episode past midnight, you could hear chewing behind Lena's narration. The police found her rental car weeks later near Dawson Ridge, empty except for a recorder still running. Its last line was a whisper, "Hunger doesn't end. It moves." Since then, every October, a new installment of American Cannibal appears online, featuring a voice that sounds like Lena interviewing someone about the mine, though no one can trace the upload. Experts argue it's AI mimicry, viral marketing, or mass hysteria, but locals swear the fog on the ridge carries her questions still. What would you eat to survive? And if you answer out loud, they say, you'll hear the recorder click on.